being bullied, you feel isolated, especially if you're not comfortable telling someone about it. So you're feeling like it's just you're by yourself, and so that's what leads to a lot of people committing suicide, is that they just feel alone. And that's why we encourage active bystanding. We encourage parents to pay attention to the differences and the signs in their children, so that you can tell them, you're not alone. We're here to support you. We'll do whatever you need us to do, and being active in the process, because it's very lonely. And if people don't stand up, then these victims are by themselves.
Now, as far as federal legislation is concerned, you and I were talking the other day, and as far as I know, the only type of cyberbullying legislation that exists right now, if you have some inappropriate pictures that were taken with your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend at a certain time, if you post them on the web, you're in trouble. Outside of that, is there any legislation federally that prevents cyberbullying? Federally,
no. Federally, there isn't any at all. And so we're really pushing to make sure that we can get that enacted, because we need it.
Is Dan McCoy the only person in the country that seems to get it?
It seems that he is, because it's important, and the internet it can be very, very dangerous. When you want to get a cause, awareness out for a cause, you see it. It's out there. Everyone's doing it. But when someone's doing something that is intentionally hurting or harming someone else, you can get that out there too. And so it seems that he's the only one that realizes how much this can really hurt someone.
What about bullying in the workplace? That goes on all the time as well.
Yes, it does. And, we really encourage people to, the same things we talk about for students, we talk about for adults as well. You make sure that you say to that bully or whoever it is that this is not okay. This is not the way that I want to be treated. And if that person doesn't listen to you, then you take it up the chain. You speak to a supervisor. If you have a union, you speak to your union rep. Employee assistance programs all over. Pay attention to the rules and regulations of your organization and the terms around harassment. But it does happen. There are office bullies.
Yeah. Lots of times, though, the office bully will be someone that has a certain amount of clout in an organization, and the organization considers the bully to be vital to the success of the organization. And all of a sudden, you're complaining about this person. And as you said before with the kids, many times the adults don't see it. And if the employer doesn't see that one of their important people is bullying someone, you now sort of have an adversarial relationship with your employer.
And it can get sticky. And if you are in a predicament where you're being bullied by someone and your supervisor isn't listening and you don't feel comfortable going to HR, then there are the employee assistance programs.
What are the employee assistance programs?
Well, the employee assistance program, or EAP, they provide services for the employee. So if there is any issues, anything that you feel that you're uncomfortable with, or if there's anything that's popping up, this program provides a way for the employee to speak to someone. Also, unions, a lot of them have union reps, so you can speak to your union rep about it. And we really when we talk about office bullies, we talk about, we've spoken about the fact that the mission of your agency is important. And if you're not going by the mission of your agency, and this is not something, harassment is not something that's important to you, then if you're not comfortable, then this may not be the place for you. If they're not willing to listen, and if they're not willing to take a step in making sure that their employees are safe and that they feel like they can be there and do their work efficiently, then you definitely should think about taking a step and going somewhere else.
But that's a very difficult challenge in these
Yes,
economic
it is.
times. It's hard to find jobs.
Absolutely. And so that's why we really try to push, go and speaking to the person directly. If that's not working, speaking to a supervisor, just really trying to get as many supporters as possible. You may not be the only person being bullied by this person. So speaking to your coworkers and getting advice on, what can I do? Or have you ever experienced this? And just kind of, if the morale around work is not good, then production is not going to be good either. So we really want to make sure that everyone is in a happy and healthy work environment.
Well, I know somebody that went up the chain in the corporation they worked for, and they now work in a different city because they stuck with the bullier at the company, and she is now, so it's really a difficult field to navigate.
Absolutely.
Both in school and at the workplace.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else we only have a few minutes left, about the subject of bullying that we haven't asked you about, or things that we have asked you about that you would like to reemphasize?
Just making sure that we emphasize with parents. So we get a lot of calls from parents, and just letting them know that talking to your child is important. Being there, being supportive, talking to administrators, active bystanding, making sure that people around are not just walking away or saying, someone else is going to handle it. They'll take care of it. And just being there so that we can all, as a community, just work together to lessen bullying and eventually erasing bullying is what we want to do.
I was surprised to learn that bullying in the United States of America is considered to be a serious public health problem. I want to talk about that a little.
Absolutely. Think about the fact that, a lot of people are being bullied, and we talked about the stress and then anxiety and everything that it causes. If we can't be productive, as a nation, we can't be productive if people are feeling like I can't, I have to look where I'm going every day. I got to pay attention. I can't enjoy all of the things that you enjoyed before. You can't do because you are constantly on edge thinking about the person that's bullying. So it's not a good place. It's really not that we're in, and that's why we really are working on creating social change. And it starts with one person. A lot of people don't feel like, well, I can do it. It starts with one person, and that one person standing up to that bully, and that one person, looking out for someone. That's how we begin to create social change, and that's what we really encourage.
According to studies right now, there are the three top reasons for bullying in the United States of America. Number one is looks. Talk about that a little.
A lot of people are hung up on looks, name brands, hair color, texture, everything. And so if you don't look a way that I think you should look, or if I don't look a way that I feel like I should look, then what am I going to do? I'm going to find someone who doesn't look like me, and I'm going to bully them. And so it's really, it's terrible. It really is. It's a lot of people pay attention to the outer the outer you, and not really get the time or the chance to know and get to know you better.
The number two reason for bullying in this nation right now is body shape.
Think about society as a whole. We don't know what shape we're supposed to be. It's all over the place. 1 minute you're too thin, 1 minute you're too big. It's just, we're all over the place. So of course, if we don't feel comfortable in our own skin, we're going to make someone else feel even more uncomfortable in theirs. And it's just a resemblance of society. That's what we're going through right now.
And the third reason in this country is race.
Yes. People are uncomfortable with race. And when people are uncomfortable, what do? It comes out in different ways. So those top three actually make a lot of sense, because when we're uncomfortable, what do we do best? We make someone else feel worse about themselves.
One of the things you were sharing with me the other day when we talked was that when the bullying starts, there should be really early intervention. Stop it, nip it in the bud.
Yes. Early intervention is best, because then you get to let them know, you let the bully know this is not acceptable, we don't tolerate this, and they're on edge at that point. They know that, okay, I better back up. And you let the victim know that wow, I have support. Like, I don't have to take this. I can stand up for myself. Encourage you, when you intervene early, you encourage that person who's being bullied to stand up for themselves.
And the one thing you would like to encourage again is the active bystander.
Yes.
To get out there and do it.
Yes, we encourage the person being bullied to stand up for themselves, and we also encourage the active bystander. Get out there, get in, work together so that we can let these bullies know that's not tolerable. Like, we don't appreciate that, and we're not going to let you treat someone else like that.
Do you find more people are intervening now when they see a friend or work colleague being bullied and they try to stop it?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are becoming more comfortable with intervening now because they know that it's okay. They know that there's a support in numbers. When there's a number of people doing this, and they're getting that reassurance from school administrators, from workplace, that you should be doing this. A lot of people before felt like, oh, it's not my business, will I get in trouble too, or but now it's being encouraged, so a lot of people are standing up.
I told you on the phone the other day I went to St. Patrick's Grammar School in Albany, and in 7th grade had an elderly teacher, Sister Basil, and one day a school bully pushed her against the wall, and you never saw. All of us surrounded Sister Basil and protected her, and that bully never did that again. And that's what you would encourage.
Absolutely, because it lets that person know that we don't tolerate this behavior. That's not okay. And that kind of puts them in a place where now no one wants to hang out with them, and they're by themselves. And so now they realize that, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. If I want to have friends, if I want to be around people, this is not the way to do it.
And Patricka Elliott, we're almost out of time. You are the crime victims therapist in Albany County. If folks want to get in touch with you, whether they're in Buffalo or in Syracuse or Albany or in Troy and Schenectady, how can they reach you?
They can reach me at the Crime Victims and Sexual Violence Center in Albany, and our number there is 518-447-7100.
And you would encourage anybody to contact us either on the web or in person?
Absolutely.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us. You've been a great guest. Our guest this week is Patricka Elliott, crime victims therapist in Albany County. I'm Joe Condon. Have yourself a wonderful day, and if you see somebody bullying, you be sure to stop them.